This is On the Bench with the two Johnnies with Board Gosh Energy. The summer's heating up now. Make the most of it with some new solar panels from today's sponsor, Board Gosh Energy. Save up to €1,000 and get a free BER cert. Board Gosh Energy. Know your power.
Hello.
You're welcome to On the Bench, a 6-part podcast series with some of the biggest legends in the GAA.
I am Johnny B.
And I'm Johnny Smacks.
Lads, each week we are joined by stars, John. Stars.
Well, I tell you one thing, that's not me anyway.
The world of hurling and football,
Christ.
who will answer the same 7 questions around pre-season, career highlights and life in the dressing room.
On the bench this week is a man who won 2001 season. It'll never be forgotten. An All-Ireland winner, a Munster champion, a National League victor, a Railway Cup medalist, all in one remarkable year. He also is an All-Star. John Carroll, welcome to the podcast.
How are you, John?
Not so bad.
That's
How are you
intro,
going?
isn't
It is, yeah. The one thing I have, lads, I have one of everything, okay? That's all I ever want. You know, I tell you, we went off and played Shinty once. That was it. I didn't want to go. The next time, and they were going to Scotland and everything. I said, oh, fuck that, I'm not going. Hey, come here, okay, you love course of this crap. No, okay.
Why didn't you go on a shinty?
We played it in Ireland, okay, on the first one, and it was right crack, okay, because the Aussie rules were over for the first time, and there was a big hype about them, and you want to see the women that were following them. Like there was and we had a do up in Crow Park, you know, in the premium level. Well, it's the conference level, say in the Cusick Park side of the thing, you know, that was go back. That side was built first, and the other side. Then the Hogan Stand side, and there was fucking free beer and food and everything at the fucking, and we were the match first, and
the
then,
boys were on after.
Yeah, so we got fucking 2 tickets anyway, and there was 4 of us, you know. And I said, how is this going to fucking work anyway? And a friend of mine, Paddy White, you know, so we got in anyway into the thing, and you know the way there's windows in the fucking, what did they do? Throw down the 2 tickets, and I remember they were running 20 yards one way and 20 yards back the other way. We didn't take the tickets off of Shaman at the door, so we're ready to throw it down to the Paddy White come up anyway in the buys, but there was some crack there and free drink, and into Dublin you want to see what, you know, but you could see how the Aussie rule lads, the condition of the lads and the professional shape now, like what the GAA is now, like they were in some but Jesus, was some crack though, you know.
That leads us on to our first question, talking about lads in shape and the whole lot. Pre-season, when you started with it,
oh Jesus!
What was that?
But sure, as you can see, I was always about 3 miles behind everybody else.
I remember going to school and seeing you in the Christian Brothers field, and there was one lad with you, and he was just running you up and down. Yeah,
that was.
Up and down.
I'd say that was Brian Murray. Yeah, he was training with Babs at the time. I'd say was that about say 2004 or 5?
Yeah, 4 or 5.
Yeah. Oh yeah, trying to get like Jesus. Every winter I come back about 3 stone fucking heavier than what I was hurling at the end of the year before. Oh,
so you came in?
I started. I finished. I came in 2000. Nicky. So I had Nicky there for a couple of years, so 3 years, and then Michael Dial gave a year, and Ken Hogan gave a year, and Babs there for a couple of years. Then you know, but Jesus, like the first year was grand. And then it just every winter, then I don't know, whatever used to happen to me or something. Some people, I think
it got harder every year.
I think I got attacked or something. I don't know, or something anyway. But I just there's some stories. So just we started off with Nicky, and the first year was grand. The second year, then it was about Jesus, after winning the All Ireland, about 2 stone overweight. And so he sent me up to this lad up in Dublin, to this dietitian lad. You know, like in all fairness, Nicky now would have everything organised, and anyway. So I had to lose weight every 2 weeks going into this lad. You know, and. Of course, anyway, the first week or two, the puppy fat was coming off anyway all the time, you know, and then it came to the 4th week anyway, no sign of the budging of the weight, like in about 3 days left. I didn't eat for 3 days. Jeez. I went for a bowl of cornflakes a day is what I was eating, trying to make sure to do. And then I used to finish work at 2:00, and I had to drive to Dublin. I was meeting him in the Red Cow, okay, and I do about 20-minute fucking run to try and get off the fucking weight. Like a boxer, the jockey. Did you ever see the jockey or the saunas and all? I said, if I don't lose this, I'm going to be fucking murdered, and he killed it fucking training. Oh, Jesus Christ. So anyway, wherever it was, a few pounds. Yeah, we're making a bit of progress. Good man, clapping the back. He'd go back to Nicky, tell him Carroll is going all right, and everything like that. Well, I'd say I ate for 2 hours solid on the way down. The first place I see, pull in here. Oh, Lord, but you're, Jesus Christ. Oh, the funny now, but you're like, really? Like it.
Anyway. From back then, a lot of running back.
Yeah, but you're like,
they'd run the arsehole.
Like Jesus, we used to go to the Devil's Bait and all that, and up, and like, and all you'd hear is Ken Hogan, up the hill, like Jesus Christ, Christ was really going to run up your fucking self, will you? But Oh God! I look, and you see other lads then, like, and they're naturally fit, and they just breeze through it, and you were there, fucking, tough. But it's not easy. Like, and it was like, you think after 1 year, say, hey, cop on to your fucking self now. But no. But you see, I was a different breed. Like if you look at now with professionalism, they have 4 or 5 good years behind them, training and weights and everything, and like. I was the old stock and have a few pints after every match and all that sort of stuff. Like, and eventually I was burnt. Like I went to a meeting with Liam Sheedy in 2008, and like the commitment, and you can't drink no more, you can't do this, and I want you a leader of this team. Like, and I just said, fuck this. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like I had, and you know how I was 30 then as well, and I hadn't got the fucking legs, or and like everywhere was going to that level. I was nearly the last of the fucking old stock. Like, Jesus, I could tell you stories. I started out with 97, like it was only our minor, when a minor in 96, and I was on the external panel, and I was there for the Munster final and All Ireland. Like, like there was 5 or 6 of us there. The night before the All Ireland, we didn't come in till 3:30, 4 o'clock. And come in at 3:30, 4 o'clock, and the boys playing the All Ireland the next day, and we were the talk of the breakfast fucking table. You know what I mean? Like, I remember sitting down beside Liam Sheedy and Paul Delaney. What time did the boys come home? At 3:30. Jesus Christ! But what was the like? You mentioned the food there. I always remember there was, I think it was an Irish Independent article, and your man was doing a piece on you. And obviously, like, being in Roscrea, we were reading everything, we were loving it. And he started off, he said, I met John Carroll in the Racket Hall Hotel. He said, he was covered in dust. And when he sat down at the table, he said, I got an extra spud because the championship's coming up. You're eating a big carvery dinner. Like, was there lads telling you what to eat, or were you just
Oh,
left your own device?
the gist was, like, I suppose you have to work harder and take in less. And sure, I was trying that, like, and trying to lose it, like, because, you need to be on, when it comes to the old summer thing, you have to be somewhere fucking right, But
your game was like, you were a naturally big man. You were a powerful man.
Exactly. I know, but you see, you have to get the legs to get around. And I like, there was a couple of matches there, and I didn't have it. I remember in 2002, we were playing Kilkenny in the All Ireland semi-final, and it just I knew then it was fucking going in a slippery slope. I got one ball and I absolutely bursted. I broke a tackle, and I fed the ball to Paddy O'Brien, and he banged it over. There was about 2 pints in it with about 6 minutes left. And I said to myself, now, Johnny, the next ball you get, you have to go for goal. You have to just go and go for it. And I hadn't got the fucking legs to go for it,
It's
a bad feeling. It is a bad feeling, And as the older you get, like, you come to the club matches and it's the same feeling. I want to be over there now in that space, and someone will hit me, but you weren't able to get there, But anyway, we got away with, so as Declan Ryan says to me, we got away with enough. We're all right.
What are your memories of the dressing room like? Was there any team talks or anything that stands out for you from managers over the years?
Oh, sure. Look, there's loads of them. Like they were nearly all the same. Like, and I suppose if you weren't motivated playing with Tip, you shouldn't be going out there anyway. There was a couple of good ones. Babs was there one day, and we were having a meeting in the Horse and Jockey. And at the time, remember the time, the forward out of the other team had come back and play in the backs. Like, this was starting to happen, like, in the hurling, And Eamon Corcoran kind of stood up. So what are we going to do now if one of their forwards comes back on top of us there? How will we work that? As if to say, hey, Babs, tell us what we're going to do, And Babs just turned around and looked at Eamon and he says, we're covered for all eventualities. In other words, was you look after it yourself. You're on the field, not me. Like, and I thought, Jesus, that was, as simple as that. Like, if you're on the field, you have to look after your space as well, But we're covered for all eventualities, says Babs.
And so you would have been playing even before, like, the WhatsApp groups and all. How was it organised?
Well, the phone, disaster. The ruin hurling is what it is.
The phone,
lads. But like, there's videos now going around. Like, and there is good ones you see and teams celebrating and all that. But like, there's a lot of shit on it too.
In that time when you came in, who ran the dressing room?
Sure, the players really. Like, when I was in there, like, I sat in the same spot. Philip Maher sat in the same spot. Like, all the Tommy Dunn sat in the same spot. And go in and do your training, and it's amazing. They just, that routine is what they were doing. And like, when I was training, I'd have to be there 10 to 7. And go, and I could have a cup of tea and go out in and kind of limber up and, you know,
Get going.
and get going and have a few pokes and make sure it wasn't David Kennedy, because you'd be training session done before the start. Like, you'd be driving ball left and right that side. You need, like we'd be 10 minutes, 15 minutes pucking the ball across to each other. Like, you need it to be done. You stand here and the ball just comes to every time. You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh, cheers, David Kennedy. If you got 30 yards over your head, you're running back and going back again and trying to start. You nearly have a training session done. Oh, Lord. But anyway, but look, come here, he was good in other ways, in all fairness to him.
Sick. Rivalries, John.
Rivalries, loads of them. Up around us anyway, and the lad will know there as well. We're not fond of the poor old biffos around us, you know what I mean? So, yeah, we used to have a little bit of an extra incentive there playing again. Poor old Offaly, you know, around us anyway. Yeah, you know? I have a couple of nice stories now I could tell you about. I'm sure I might as well. Go on, sure, that's what we're here for. So, we were playing them in the qualifiers one year, in Portlaoise it was. And just like we were after getting bet in the Munster final in 2002. Remember, we bet Limerick and we were flying, absolutely flying. And we played the Munster final. And like, to tell you the truth, like, we thought this is fucking, we'll walk this, you know. And it wasn't, we didn't think, like, you know, the way, but it got in us, like everybody you talked to said, you're going to win this, you're going to win this.
You
like,
won the
Ireland before.
Yeah.
You bet Limerick well and bet Clare well, and you were playing Waterford now in the, like, probably the weakest on paper, but they actually turned out to be better than some of them after, like, good players. But so the first 10 minutes of that match, bang, bang, about the first two balls, I got shoulders, I got hit, absolute. And every tip lad was the same, knocked about. They had us bet after 20 minutes, you know, and we fucking, you know, it's amazing how the mentality, and all of a sudden when the battle comes, then you're not able for it, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, to lead on to the poor old Offaly story anyway, so we had to play the qualifiers then in Portlaoise, and sure, the team was announced, and Brian O'Mara was, from Mullinahone, was usually wing forward. He was playing corner forward. I looked at the old betting there, and Brian O'Mara was 16-1 to get the first fucking goal, you know. And now this is the time that the GAA was betting was coming in there with the first goal score and all that. Now it's prevalent in every soccer match, every sports thing and everything like that. We're all looking at it anyway at 16-1. I said, Jesus, lads, I sent around. Brian O'Mara was starting in the corner. Never started the corner in his life, 16-1, and we lumped on. So the first ball came anyway. It was on Brian Whelan. Now Brian Whelan was at the end of his fucking tether, the poor crazy. Yeah. He should have been retired about 3 years. But, like, he was some hurler, lads, in all fairness, okay? One of the greatest of all time, you know, and still giving the service to Offaly anyway. And I said, I'm going now as far, and it was coming through, and the whole thing opened up in front of me, and the shot was on and everything there, and then all of a sudden there was Brian O'Mara in the corner. Into the back of the net. But Jesus, it was a right. There was more lads delighted with the money more than the win again Offaly, to tell you the truth.
Jesus Christ!
But the likes of the rival, but like even Paul Curran said it to me one time, Johnny, if we had you playing Offaly every day, we'd be delighted. He said, you know,
it brought that extra bit out of you.
Yeah, it's amazing, you know. And I suppose the same with the other lads. When he was over against Kilkenny, you know, he'd always be fucking really gunning, you know.
Yeah. And what about personal? Was there any fella like you looking forward to
Not really, like there's so many of them, like, but there was never any, well, I hate to say that cunt now, you know what I mean, like, and say,
you would have come up against, like,
I was only going there when you asked me to do it. I was going through the lads I marked, from Joe Rabbit down to Jamesy O'Connor to fucking Sean O'Halpine, all savage lads, Tommy Walsh, Peter Barry, serious lads, you know, and just good battles, and that's it. Like, I remember when I got me All-Star in 2000, like, I was only running the mill, I thought, like, but I was breaking even with these fuckers. And you know, like, when you play a club match and say 10 balls come to you and you win 8 of them and everything like that, it's a right good match. And if you get down to 5 or 6, you were all right. And, you know, but I was just breaking even on these jokes, and everybody was coming out after every match. Yes, you were outstanding, well done. You know what I mean? Like,
you couldn't believe it.
Couldn't believe it. Like, you know, like, I remember the first day I went up, I think it was we played a challenge match up in Clara in Kilkenny, and it was Mark and DJ. And I was shit.
It was your first game with two?
Yeah, well, one of the first challenge matches we ever now, challenge match and getting going, and I was fucking shitting it now going up to Mark. And DJ, like, I didn't even know who was Mark, and here it was, here's DJ fucking playing, and I was wing back going, no, I'm done. The cunt didn't give a shit. Like, honest to God, like, that challenge match to him was like, he barely ran from here to the door there and back the whole match. And I hear about 4 or 5 balls and like, Jesse, we're good, well done, great start, you know.
Running then,
running, but
what about with the club?
Then, to see, the club, I
We
suppose.
kind of hate everyone.
Yeah, like there's loads of rivalries there. Like you have the local Moneygall crowd and all them, like in Nina and all local towns. Suppose that there wasn't as
One that sticks out,
The one thing about it is there wasn't bitterness there, but there was rivalry, you know, which is a good thing. And look, like it was all everybody trying to beat you and you trying to beat them.
Yeah.
You know,
I remember the first time I was up from minor, I was on the panel with Oscar. I had no hope of getting a game, and I think you were a sub, and no one had to tell you to warm up. You just got up and took off the jacket, and you kind of announced yourself on. And I thought, that's the fucking coolest thing I've ever seen.
Jesus,
yeah, it was against Nina. We didn't win, though.
No, we never do. Anyway,
When did you go from the backs to the forwards?
Okay, so the story to that. So I was an all-star wing back in 2000, and of course came back about 2 stone overweight. And a little bit less pre-season than I should have got, okay? Because after winning All Ireland and everything, oh Jesus, I came back a state. I got burnt in Argentina and everything I did. Burnt as a picture of home.
All-Star tour.
Yeah, in Argentina. And I got, you want to see me, I was red as a, I never put on no fucking stuff for that. There was nowhere anywhere before. The bog is the most I was to be in, to tell you the truth. When I came back red, I couldn't do a stroke for 3 weeks.
Sunburned.
No, sunburn. You want to see me? I was red as a bird. There's a picture of home. I'd send it on to you there, lads. And I tell you, I think this lad is going to die of skin cancer. I'm telling you. But anyway, so I came back and we played the first couple of matches and it wasn't fucking great now towards the previous year, you know. And now we won our 2 matches and look, not great. And they were kind of short of centre forward. And I went in centre forward in the All Ireland semi-final against Wexford on a Liam Dunn. First ball he tried to do me hand, break me hand like he done to Gabby Kirby, but we were waiting for him. So, but anyway, that's another story.
You were whatever.
Yeah, oh no, we knew it was coming.
Yeah,
you know. So I was happy enough and played well in the 2 matches, and like it gave me that release that when you get the ball, you can go, head for goal, and you'll draw a lad and give a hand pass and. Look, I was lucky enough to get a few goals along the way then, you know. I think the first 2 matches was centre forward, I got a goal each day against Wexford, you know. So
You're up and running.
Up and running, yeah.
Did you prefer that? Yeah, you prefer the forwards.
I know backs is better, but if you want to have legs, if you were fit, like you can see everything. Like Jesus, I was murdered with puck outs there, you know. I'm telling you, like they were 10 yards behind you or 10 yards away, you're fucked, like. Yeah. But you're able to read that, like with in the backs, you know, and you're able to drift across, and you know, and you need that pinpoint ball to the forward all the time, don't you? It's as a natural hurler, you're better off being the backs.
Yeah.
Definitely for me, anyway.
Is there a game that stands out as your most memorable?
Oh, Jesus. I suppose there are a few of them there. I got a couple of goals against Watford one time in Croke Park and league final, 2 goals in the league final. But I suppose that it wasn't even a senior match. I suppose announced me on the stage as a hurler was we went down in the time. Remember Clare and Tip had the rivalry, and it was an under-21 match down in Ennis.
Yes, yeah.
There was 22,000 at, okay, and it was now the septic in the crowd and everything. Like there was nearly go rows all over the place.
It was nasty, wasn't it?
Nasty. Oh, you know, it was unreal now. Even going in that day and everything, like there was nearly lads going spitting as going in and everything. But we went in there that day and played Clare. And Jesus, it didn't matter where I went, the ball followed me. Honest to Jesus. It was 99, yeah. And just look, where everything went well. You know the way you make no mistake in a fucking match. It was just one of these fucking dream days. And, you know, I was out of break hitting the ball up the fucking field. That was the truth. I was playing centre back anyway. And I knew I played right well anyway, because I was walking in straight after the match. And who runs down out of the stand? Nicky English came over to me. Well done, John. Well done. Some performance, you know. And the next year then I was on the panel, straight away, you know.
Yeah, that's unreal. Jeez,
you know, so. Tell
us then as well, John. Did you ever get in trouble when you were playing?
Oh, trouble, loads of it as well. Oh God, I was professional at that too. Sure. There was a lot of little bits and pieces, I suppose. I was the mentality that, like, when I was hurling, like, and I grew up with this culture, okay? So I started off in 97, like, there was boys coming home from training, going to the pub after training, like, a name, All Ireland winning managers done it and everything, you know what I mean? Like, that was the thing. No, they wouldn't go every night, but every week or two, they'd stop off in Borrisalee and have a few pints, and after matches, like, every championship match I played, I had a few pints, and, you know, and I might have a few Monday, but I'd always go train the Tuesday and train hard, like you have that edge to say, like, you had your few pints and go now and train. And so what happened was then we were playing the Munster final and Babs was over the team. Now, like Babs had no kind of recollection of lads drinking, or you know what I mean. You hurl for Tipperary, you know, he'd be kind of anti-drink in all fairness to him. Like, and that he's entitled to that opinion. So, like, what had usually happened was, like, I'd go for me to be 4 lads on the panel, like, and I'd go for me 4 pints the fucking Monday. You know what I mean, or 4 pints after the fucking match. Or, you know, go out and have the few pints and I train me Tuesday night and away we go. What does Babs decide to do? Decided to get everybody together after losing the match on a Monday night. So we went down to this, like, it wasn't even a training after, it was a fucking swim and a fucking sauna job and bullshit, like, okay? On the Monday night, brought everybody together. So what happened then when everybody was brought together? We all went to fucking Bancha. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how the fuck we ended up there, but we must have been down there somewhere anyway, wherever he could get to. Some maybe was coming, Colin Morrissey or somewhere down there. Anyway, we went up and we were there till 3 o'clock in the fucking morning. The whole lot now. Everybody was there. Like no one. Like I didn't get no drink or nothing. I was fucking. And the time you were finished training, it was 10 o'clock, and by the time you get, you were fresh, like. Yeah. And then of course we go up the next morning. And there was about 5 or 6 of us that usually go on the Monday anyway. We had to go in for the fucking show.
Delayed,
Sure, it was going to the Tuesday then, of course. And we went anyway to the Tuesday, and we're in Borrisalee anyway, and some young lad came in anyway and looked for autographs. You know, there's the 5 or 6 of the tip lads anyway. Sure, he got the autographs and he went down to the hurling field. And who was down there under the tip trainer? The lad you saw running with me, Brian Murray, and he's showing him that as well. Oh God, caught rotten. But we went into Thurles then. Okay, now we just bolted in over there when we heard this to get out of Dodge as quick as you can. So we went to Thurles then, went into Larmacky's there and had a few anyway. And Redger was with myself. I think you heard it. It wasn't the Bursley 5 they were calling it. So it was Redger, myself. Who else was there? Oh yeah, Shane McGrath, Conor O'Mahony, and who else? Who was the last one? Anyway, there's 5 of us anyway. The Bursley 5 they were called anyway. And of course, Redger got full and started whatever happened, I don't know. But someone rang Babs and told him he's a and like no, this is coming. Like Redger was the captain of Tipperary, like okay. Redger was the captain of Tipperary, and he. I didn't look. We don't know. I would. Oh Jesus! But anyway, if I think back on it, but. Why are you laughing, lads? This was about 2005 or 6. I don't know exactly the year anyway. And then the whole place the next day went hullabaloo and everything, and there was fucking war. So Brian Murray took me off to train in Templederry, and so I just done the training. I didn't give it to, if he told me to fuck off, fuck him. I was going anyway, I didn't. But like poor old Redzer got into the fucking, was brought to the Anner and gave the fucking whole yoke, and he was dropped out of it, like, you know.
Yeah.
I really, yeah, like myself and Nicky spoke about this after Nicky English spoke about like what was he doing putting on the train? Like if we had left it normal, nothing would have happened. There'd be the same thing. Go back into your Tuesday night. I know you were beaten. Like you know yourself. If you were pushing and working, you need a release after a month or two, a small bit of a release, and that would have done. And what we done, we brought fucking dopes, and I had the drinker out around the place as well. And you know what I mean? Like,
biggest problem.
Yeah, you know, and that's it. Like just doing stupid, you know,
inexperienced fellas.
Yeah, exactly. And sure, look, it's disappointing. Like and over a thing that should have been, and maybe it could have been like in house. It could have been fucking looked after a little bit better. Just you know, like you don't want your laundry washed in front of fucking everybody, and you know, and one lad gets the drop and the others didn't, and you know, it's a bit disappointing. But
I love it.
And we weren't far off that year. I think we were only beating a pint or two after. Like we could have, you know.
I love it. That still to this day, you don't know who made the phone call.
Well, I have a fair idea, but I'm not mentioning it. But I don't know. Look, come here. Look, look. But you see, you have to. Sometimes you just have to box clever.
What was the rule around drinking?
Yeah, but like to me, like if there was any confrontation or anything like that, just get out there, just walk or anything like that on the drinking thing. But like there was no rule. I was old stock that I go for me few pints, and like just as Nicky was deadly, like you know, he'd know me the inside out, like he was deadly. So. One day we were off up in Dublin anyway, wherever the fuck we were going, some banding thing anyway. And Morris was driving me going home. We were going home together anyway. And Nicky puts the head into the window. Whatever you do now, don't let that fucker go drinking when he goes home. You know what I mean? Make sure he goes home. You know, but and the second time was we were playing. Remember the time we were saying I went back or was up centre forward anyway. Now we drew the first day and there was a replay the week after. And sure, the week we had to play anyway. So. just said, everybody says look after themselves. Like, and Nicky didn't even come over to me and say or anything like that and say look after yourself now, don't go drinking, or do you know what I mean, we're out now in a week, like, you know. So anyway, I went home anyway, and Lorraine says to me, Nicky's after ringing me, he says you're not to go drinking. I thought it was deadly.
He rang ahead.
Yeah, he rang the wife to make sure to don't let him out now. Okay, we've a match next weekend. Like, but wasn't it a good bit of man management?
That is top class.
You know.
Speaking of Redzers, you're involved in the Masters.
Yeah, Redzer. He's looking for lads with a bit of talent now. You could be there, by I tell you that.
You played with this over 40s
No,
thing?
I don't. I'm not able to. No, I'm 48 now. 40. I'm 78, baby. So Jesus. And too old, but they have right old crack, and and they're after winning the last 2 years. So if you ever want to win an All-Ireland medal, if I was you, I'd make a move on it this year. Yeah, that could be the one.
When was the last time you hurled? Because I remember seeing articles that you went back and played with Knock.
Yeah,
at the Junior B. You scored like 3
I was born and reared in Knock.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
And we had no
It's a
team.
little village, sorry, not knocking.
Yeah, so so it's the smallest little village you get. There's only 250, 300 people in it, okay, and half the parish is in Laois. Would you believe that? Kyle and Knock. And Knock is in Tipperary and Kyle is in Laois, but they had no team when I was growing up, so I went to Roscrea anyway, you know, and played with them all through. And then when I got, I was fucked and I had to run no more. So I went back with Knock and played with them, but Junior B, but Jesse was going right well one year now and was halfway and going. And we played this mid-final again. You're talking about rivalries. Knock and Calais would be a big rivalry. Yeah. We should be cutting the hell off each other and everything. But we played. I remember it well. In the rag playing the match in the mid-final, and just we're up about 7 or 8 pints. I got about 3 pints of cleaning your man and going anyway, and went to a ball about 5 minutes before the end of the first half, and I saw this cunt trip me. I said, Jesus, that must be a free anyway. And the ref didn't, no one behind me or nothing. I fucking snapped me Achilles tendon. Oh God, I was absolutely. I was bullying. Like, do you know the way you regret one match or two matches? That was one I regretted because it was winning something with the place you were born and reared.
Yeah, it would have been class.
A disaster. But
And did they go on and win it without you?
no, they got bet by 2 pints or 3 pints. That's what I'm saying. Like, and they never contested one since or won one since. So like, it's just, and it was right that year, and just a little bit of luck, and I didn't get it. But
jeez.
And when did you know it was time to retire from intercounty?
Oh, I couldn't. I tell you, I was getting worse every year, okay? And you know yourself, lads. I'm telling you, when you're carrying 2 stone and then you're going to 3, and harder it is pre-season, and you have to
the demands are bigger then.
Yeah, and everything is getting faster then. You know what I mean? Like, and they step up, like what the players now is unreal, like the professionalism. But like, it was starting to come, and Liam Sheedy took it over in 2008, and now I met him in Thurles, and look, we want you to be really pushing these lads on. You're one of the scene. Like, I was 30, like, and go ahead. And I thought to myself, and I have for this, you know. And I just said, hey, come here, not for me. And about 2 months later, he tried it, and we started doing a little training in York. But sure, like, came one big do was on like that high to miss, and I just fucked it. I went out, and that was the end of it.
Yeah.
You know, you had to be not drinking from one end of the year to the other, really, to get for me,
for that commitment now,
for me to be. And in all fairness, Liam got out of the players, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, he did, yeah.
You know, so, but like, that's the level it went to, like, and I wasn't willing to take that. And I was, like, it would have been if it was 21 or 22 maybe, but, you know, like, when I was hurling at 21, like, the culture was have a few pints.
Yeah.
You know, it was amazing. Like, I went out in 97, like, and Paul Delaney was on the team, we went to Pat Fox's. And after losing to All-Ireland there, should we give 5 days solid in Pat Fox's? I didn't come out with Pat Fox's till Friday or Saturday after the fucking All-Ireland days. And if you ask me now, where did I stay? I couldn't fucking tell you. I couldn't fucking tell you. You know, it's unreal. Like, and there was, sure, it was unreal stuff.
What's it like going to a tip match after you've retired, like, and you play for tip? You know, that you've played for tip for so long, and now you go and watch.
Yeah,
matches,
but I think there's something about it that you know, when you meet the lads or lads that played as well, and you're kind of in that family, you know, that you have a camaraderie, and you wore that jersey, and look, and especially if you won something, do you know what I mean? If you won that All Ireland, like, it is, there's something about it, you know, and everybody kind of respects you, like, it's amazing. Slash, like you go around, like, you know, and you could be the worst useless cunt of all time beyond that panel or wherever it was, but like, you get that respect in Tipperary, like, it is unreal, you know.
You must have loads of friends outside of the GAA or through the GAA that you'd have met, like, and you see, you know,
And through the GAA as well. Like I got like the GAA is a brilliant place for social connection. It is absolutely like I tell you a story of a friend of mine there, Liam Kearns. Like when he died there a couple of years ago, lads, he was a great character, you know, and he was the old style too. Like the boys would tell you, like
the boys loved him when he was over.
Yeah, when he was over tip, like he got Tipperary. Now you know yourself, like we're hurlers and we always will be, and all that. He got
Tipperary footballers.
He got them to an Ireland semi-final.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? Won a Munster Championship, lads. It's some feat now, lads.
Hey, what is there anything you change about the game of hurling now?
Oh God, changing about the game of hurling. I'd say that there's two little bits. I think hurling is brilliant now, lads. You know, like we have the best. I wouldn't change too much. There's two little bits I'd like to see looked after a little bit better. Number one is the hand pass. Like one day you'll go out and a referee will blow, and the next day he won't blow. You know, either let it go or don't, or do something with the thing.
It's very hard to police it, like.
Yeah, it is. Oh no, it is. And you'll see it there in slow motion, like, and you think it was a throw, but your man actually does get the connection, and there is, you know, between it. But that'd be one. I think it just has to be kind of, I don't know, either let it off or if you make some attempt.
One way or the other, everyone needs to know what is the
exactly. And that's all. And the other thing, though, for me is I think the referees have to be really addressed. You know, like if you were 12 all the way up to senior inter-county, there's a centre of excellence for lads to go to improve, you know. Yeah. And I think, like, you know, you have to start putting infrastructure and you have to put a few pound into for the referees, lads, and make it viable for big players that played on big All-Ireland final days to go back and referee as well now. And in all fairness to the boys that are doing the job, like, you know, it's the toughest gig.
It's a hard job.
It is a tough gig, but you have to really put something in place that to say, lads, we can make this better, you know, and have it that there's a centre of excellence, that their fitness is better, the rules are, you know, they're just improving. Like, and you can see the game, like when I was playing towards what it is now, it's so faster, it's quicker, the skill levels are way better. Like, has the refereeing gone to that level, like? You know, you know, that's what. And in all fairness, I see in our tip there, like there's a core there, or 6 or 7 of them, and they're nearly refereeing every match going. And they're just burnt out as well. Like, you know, like it's tough.
But there's not much incentive now for a referee to go and do it.
Oh no,
they get paid so poorly, and look.
Yeah, you need to go. Yeah, exactly. And it just, like, everybody else is probably getting, you know, like if you look at your managers and your coaches and everything like this, and the players, they're getting the best of facilities, the best of, like, everything is looked after now, for gear all the way up for players that are on a Tipperary setup. You know, and I think the referees,
the rest deserve the same.
Yeah, I think so, definitely.
Hey John, before you go, will you tell us what happened to the wrist?
Me, okay, so that's not even a mixer. Look, I even got a cup here. Look, start the mixer. Unfortunately, I failed in my effort to start the mixer.
So you were so wrist, he said, don't shake the hand too hard.
Yeah, and I went around to try turn it, and
start the mixer.
Anyway, we're not too bad.
Keep the mixer turning anyway, John. Thanks a million for coming.
No bother.
Having a chat with us.
No bother. Thank you very much. God bless you.
You saw Smacks in action underage, did you?
I did. One of the greatest ever to grace the fields in Roscrea.
I'll slip you that 20. Thanks, John.
Yeah, no bother.
Hey!
This is On The Bench with the two Johnnies with Board Gosh Energy. You've got to love the weekend. On The Bench drops on Fridays. There's loads of cracking GAA to watch Saturday and Sunday. And with our sponsors, Board Gosh Energy's Weekend Smart Plan, we get night rates all weekend long. Lovely stuff altogether.